Okay.
We will begin. Now we have to find the rock. Remember when we first did this, there was nobody.
No, it was just us. That's helpful.
Got the coordinates on it and everything.
That's not, it's the challenge is find a rock.
Go this way. Right?
Okay, follow the Pied Piper.
Okay, we'll stop here and have a history talk.
On the ground?
Okay, can someone tell me what a legend is? A legend? No volunteers? Okay, it's a story, but it's a story that we're not quite sure it's completely true. And in this legend, we do have some facts. Abram's Rock is marked in a deed in 1700, the Rock of Abram. So already, that was 25 years after the war. So already the English had recognized Abram, whoever he was. We believe he, of course, was an Indian. He could have been a praying Indian, meaning he was baptized. And the war, King Philip's War, was a civil war as far as the Indians were concerned. Not all tribes fought on the side of Philip. Some fought against Philip. And Abram supposedly was working for the English, right? And he was wanted by King Philip. King Philip, of course, was an Indian, right? His Indian name was Metacomet, right? How did you get the name Philip? That's a long story. But his father was Massasoit, who was befriended by the English, and it was a reciprocating treaty. It was a mutual defense treaty. Anyway, when his boys turn of age, they take on an adult name. So the boys were brought to Plymouth, and the Pilgrims decided that they would find tremendous names through history to give his boys. And they came up with Alexander for the oldest boy and Philip for the youngest boy. Alexander, of course, was Alexander the Great, and Philip was Alexander's father. So that's why the English always called him King Philip, but of course he was an Indian, right? So he was hiding from King Philip's warriors. And supposedly, if you look at this feature, this is known as Abram's bedroom or Abram's kitchen sometimes. So he was hiding out in here for a few months before the King Philip's warriors found him. And when they did, he was given a terrible choice. He could rejoin his people, the Wampanoags, or he would be burnt at the stake, burnt alive. However, to rejoin his people, he would have to pass a test. And that test would be 3 leaps from this rock. And if he survived 3 leaps, okay, he would be allowed to go back and live with his people. And of course, he survived the first jump. He survived the second jump. And on the third jump, he was killed. I read that he hit a limb, and he hit a limb on the way down, and that broke his neck. I don't know how anyone could survive 1 jump from the rock, never mind 3. But it's a legend. So we do have some evidence that Abram did live, right? And that he was a real person. So how much of the three leap story is true, we don't know, but it's going to be your job to keep the story going. All right, when I'm too old to climb this rock. Okay, we'll go to the top of the rock and do the blessing. This wasn't just a place of death, okay, Abram's rock. There are etchings on this rock, petroglyphs, that indicate that this was a holy place also. So I'd like to do the tobacco offering. Tobacco back then was considered a gift. It doesn't have the terrible reputation it has today. So I use tobacco in the offering.
What do you think of that story, Al?
I think I've passed you already. Yeah, you're my brother's
Dad, you know?
Pipe tobacco smells kind of sweet.
Yeah.
And when you're having trouble growing little branches.
What we were supposed to do is purify before the blessing. And what you do is, this is an old, I think it's a Plains Indians thing. You warm your hands with the sun, okay, and you just bathe yourself with the sun for purification. Then you can do the blessing. Okay, I'm about to begin the blessing. I just figure I'm not an Indian, but anyone's allowed to pray.
Oh, it's going pretty good.
Yes. That's good stuff. It's still going.
There's the smoke.
Tobacco unites all. Its roots grow deep in the ground. Its smoke touches all things and carries our words to the great Creator. We ask a blessing on the east, where the sun wakens, the direction of first light and first knowledge. The east sends the green spring, when all things renew. We pay homage to the first people of the East, the Wampanoag. We follow the sun's path across the sky. The sun, our Creator's greatest of gifts. It gives life to all, plants, animals, and human beings. We ask a blessing on the west, where the sun sleeps, the direction of peace and solidarity. The west sends us the autumn, when replenishing rains replace what the summer has consumed. Remember all those who have shared our lives and have passed through the western gate. We pay homage to the first people of the west, the Nipmunk, the Haudenosaunee. We ask a blessing on the south. The south gives us the summer, when the sun's power warms the earth, exciting all life into fertility, new birth, and the bounties of nature. We pay homage to the first people of the South, the Narragansett and the Pequot. We ask a blessing on the North, the direction of resiliency and endurance. The North sends us the winter, when Earth Mother will sleep under a blanket of purifying snow, watched over by the north wind. That we offer this blessing with sincere hearts and out of respect. The first people knew their dependency on the earth and referred to the earth as Earth Mother. They knew their place in a natural world. They respected other life and other animals. We have to continue that tradition. We need to. We are of the earth, and we need to be the earth caretakers. Our existence depends upon it. We ask that the spirit and the wisdom of first people walk with us today. Okay, the original photo, and you just about can make out the petroglyphs in here that are on the rock. But I cheated a little bit and I used teacher chalk and I outlined the petroglyphs. So you can see it was a holy place. This represents the giving hand or the giving arm of the great creator. And you recognize this? This is fruit falling from a tree. So those petroglyphs are carved into this rock. Head west and you'll find a parking lot. If not, if you're coming for the whole walk, we're going to Wildcat, then we're going to go to Lewin's Pond, and then we're coming up through the Cabral soccer fields. Yeah, this is really the only way down. Well, for people over 70.
Sorry.
Okay. Hey, Wildcat is a lot easier to find. It's got like a handicap ramp in the back. And I'm not kidding.
Well, you know the way that is. It's not motivating.
Right. Well, don't forget, it was got 5,000 feet of ice right here.
All right.
A lot of people don't realize that. You go back 18,000 years.
Yeah, 5,000 feet of ice?
Yeah.
And what looks like huge boulders to us are just pebbles underneath.
I
Yeah.
know. It's got a continental ice sheet.
What's that?
All right, did everyone catch their breath? We can.
Yeah.
Lewin's Pond is our next stop.
No, it's all right. We'll catch up. They're right there.
Is there a story that goes with Lewin's Pond?
Lewin was one of the original founders of Swansea. Lewin's Brook runs from Stevens Road right through, and it feeds into this area. Nobody knows this is Lewin's Pond. It's back dam. The Swansea Dam, the back dam. Lewin Brook. It's kind of an embankment, a cement embankment. It feeds this pond. And that meanders all the way to Stevens Road. What kind of car is it? Well, I don't know.
There was a stone over there. It was a young boy. He was born in 1970. He died in 1974. A young boy. So most of those were veterans.